my name is Richard, and this is Pizza Nerd. I was originally going to call it I Make It a Pizza, but my wife thought if I called it that, I'd be subjected to, physical violence in the streets. So I'm keeping it very simple. The Pizza Nerd, nerd life. I'm a nerd. I love pizza. It just kind of seems to go hand in hand, so it works for me. So today is a very basic show. It's an introduction to pizza. We're going to show you how to make this bad boy here in about 10 minutes for about $3.50. Very basic show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a whole series. Later on we're going to get into different kinds of regional pizzas, and in fact next week we're going to be doing the Detroit style pizza, which is a lot of fun. But this is a basic pizza, $3.50. You can't beat it. You need 4 ingredients: dough, cheese, tomato sauce, and pepperoni. Of course the pepperoni is optional. If you're the type that doesn't eat meat or you like another type of topping, I'm using pepperoni because it's my favorite. Sausage, of course, requires extra steps. You have to cook the sausage, and so on and so forth. And then there's 4 basic steps to making a really good pizza, in my estimation. I call them the 4 P's. First, you have to do your prep. You got to pound, place, and put in the oven. And that, of course, relates to doing your prep, which is turning on the oven and preheating it before you get to the point where you're ready to put the pizza in, and taking the dough out and letting it rise for about half an hour before you even do anything else. So that's prep. Pounding is what you do to your dough. We're going to get into that later. You don't need to be as kind as a lot of these other videos tell you. You need to be to your dough. Dough is dough. All you need is for it to be flat. And that's what we're concentrating on here. There's a basic lesson on pizza, introductory. We're going to teach you how to make cheap pizza. Place, you place your toppings on the pizza. And of course, you know the drill. Tomato, cheese, topping, pretty basic. Put in the oven and finish, voila. And in about 10 minutes, you'll have that. And it's a thing of beauty. So we're going to go ahead. We're talking today about how to make a pizza, obviously, from scratch, roughly, on a budget. And this is primarily meant for 2 types of people: students and families looking to cut costs on the grocery bill. Groceries, I have a family of 4, and we pay an exorbitant amount for groceries every month. So pizza was a very nice way to reduce those costs and not have to shoulder the burden of going out and getting a pizza, which, you can run anywhere $10, $20. What we're going to do here today will cost about $3.50 to make a really nice pizza. About 16 inches, though you can make them bigger, you can adjust things. We'll be talking about all that in later episodes. We're going to go over some regional variations in later episodes, and how to make some bigger pizzas, some party pizzas. But today, we're making a New York style, approximately. I'm not going to make it as thin as most New York styles. What we're going to make is pretty much an approximation of what you would get at any of the major chains here in the United States. And to get started, you need a couple very preliminary things. First, you need to preset your oven to 500 degrees and make sure it's good and hot and ready to go when you need it. And the second thing you need to do is take your dough out and let it rise for half an hour or so, so that it's nice and pliant and you can do all kinds of good stuff with it. And to discuss the cost of these toppings, because some people may be like $3.50, that's not right. There's a major retailer here in the United States that is not paying me, so I'm not going to mention their name, but most of you are familiar with them. If you live in the United States, there's probably 5 or 6 of them in your backyard. Big box, carry everything under the sun. Cheese, $2. Tomato sauce, up to about $1.68. The one I have is a $1 version, which is very good. It's nice, tasty. There's tomatoes, is the most important thing. And pepperoni, which is about $2. And then you have your dough. Dough is an essential ingredient, and depending on the videos that you've seen on YouTube, you're going to have seen a lot of stuff about dough. There's a lot of people out there that tell you dough has to be handled in a certain way, or that you have to have a certain type of dough in order to make a quality pizza. They're going to tell you you have to have a dough with ridiculous ingredients, that you have to handle it in a certain way and all kinds of stuff. None of that matters. For what we're doing here, you need dough of some sort that is made from stuff that dough is made of. And this is a very inexpensive dough, but it's very good. It's parva. I enjoy it, but you're gonna put this together, try it. You're gonna love the pizza. It's amazing. 88 cents for this dough at the local big box retailer. Less than $1 for the dough. $2 for cheese. That's $3. $4 for the tomato sauce, and up to about $3 for the pepperoni. You're looking at $7. So how does that equal $3.50? Well, if you buy 2 doughs, I don't have another one at the moment, but if you buy 2 doughs, you actually have enough cheese, sauce, and pepperoni to make multiple pizzas. So you have enough cheese in a $2 bag of cheese to make 2 pizzas. You have enough tomato sauce in a $1 jar of tomato sauce to make 2 pizzas. And then pepperoni. There's so much pepperoni in these stupid bags, you probably make about 20 pizzas. But just splitting that in half too, we're looking at about $3.50 max per pie. The only other things you're going to need, other than dough, cheese, tomato sauce, and pepperoni, is a baking sheet to put it in the oven. You can use aluminum foil if you'd like, but it's better spring a few bucks for one of these. They're like $3 or $4 at that big box store, and they'll last forever. I usually prefer the one with the holes in it. You get all the little holes so it looks like a vent. But I'm going to use this one today because it's a little less expensive, and I like to oil the pan too, and you get kind of a crispy goodness on the bottom of your dough while it's cooking. The other thing you need is a rolling pin. And I'm going to start with a little discussion about dough again. Most people will tell you, if you watch these other videos, usually these other videos are some guy in his own restaurant telling you gotta massage the dough. You have to learn how to flip it and toss it and do all kinds of crazy stuff. You gotta go to school to learn how to make the right dough with the right oxygen content and the right ratio of this to that to the other thing. You don't need any of that. That is crap. Those are people trying to justify charging $40 for a pizza at their own restaurant. We're making a $3.50 pizza in our own restaurant, in our own kitchen, and the basic dough that we have, and how I'm going to show you to do it, which I call the blunt force method, is perfectly acceptable for making a very good pizza, and we're going to get started on that right now. To start, you want to put a little bit of flour on your table. Take off any wedding rings or anything you might be wearing because the dough will get into it. Mix the dough around. Take the dough, and again, they tell you, you got to be really nice to it, hug it, kiss it. Don't worry about any of that. This is a basic introductory course on how to make a really good pizza, and the fact of the matter is, this dough is not your enemy. It is your friend, and it doesn't mind you playing rough with it. So again, the blunt force trauma method, which I mentioned earlier, is this. You smack that sucker down on the table, and you pound the crap out of it. Okay? You don't have to be gentle. You don't have to act like it's your prom date. You don't have to do any of that. You smack it down, stretch it, do whatever you want, because it doesn't matter. Okay, be rough as you want with it. Then comes this bad boy. You need to put a little flour on it so that the dough doesn't stick to it. And you want to roll the dough out. It doesn't really take a degree in engineering to figure out how to use a rolling pin. And again, I may not have the perfect textbook technique for this, but I have a Juris Doctor, so I don't need that. I understand how to make it flat. That's all I need. You roll it out, roll it out, roll it out, roll it out. Roll it out, flatten it, pull it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. And these are all no-nos according to a lot of the other guys on here, but it doesn't matter. Dough is stretchy, it's pliant, it doesn't matter. And we're going to stretch it some more, stretch it some more, stretch it some more. We're going to stretch it some more, stretch it some more, stretch it some more. Stretch it, 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 stretch it. Okay. That was pretty easy. Well, that's about as big as we can go based on the pan that we have, which again I think is about 16 inches. Very easy, very basic stuff. And what we're going to do is we're not going to assemble the pizza right now. We're going to actually put the dough in the oven and pre-bake it a bit so that it comes out very, very nice. You need a little bit of olive oil. You smear it around, whatever you want to do. And then you transfer, plop. And again, don't worry about being rough. By that, I actually flattened a little bit too much for this pan, but that's a-okay, it's all good. Okay. And then you put it in the oven for a few minutes. Okay, so we're back, and I have the dough out of the oven. I had it in there for about 10 minutes. I'm ready now to go ahead and mix, put the tomato sauce, the cheese, and pepperoni on. And that's really the secret to a good pizza is, first of all, shredded and not sliced cheese, but also a thin layer of tomato sauce, which you don't really even want a layer. You really kind of just want a barely there presence, unless you're making one of our bigger pizzas or another regional variation, like the Chicago pizza or something like that. You don't really need a whole lot of tomato sauce because when it heats, it blends with the cheese and it makes some really amazing, whoop, here goes tomato. It makes some really amazing goodness. So you don't need to smother it or you're going to ruin it. And that is, right there is about as much sauce as you want. It covers the whole pizza. It's the right amount, and it's going to be good. Cheese, you don't go crazy. Just as with the tomato sauce, moderation is key. The cheese melts and spreads and mixes with everything, and it just creates a ridiculous goodness. You really, really, really want a very thin layer of cheese, kind of evenly spread over the top of the pizza. Voila. And then pepperoni. Pepperoni, my goodness. Everyone likes their own amount of pepperoni. I like a ton. You just put the pepperoni on. It's kind of an idiot-proof thing. If you have opposable thumbs, you can put pepperoni on it. You just put as much as you want. So I'm just about to pull it out. It's been cooking for about another 10 minutes. They really don't need long. It's important, though, at the end to blast it with a broiler for a minute or two. You get a really nice look on the top from that. So, there we go. So this is our final product, $3.50. It's a beautiful thing. It took about 10 minutes of very easy labor. Now the first time, you might have a little bit of a hard time, but once you get used to it, it's very easy. All you have to do is follow the 4 P's. Prep, pound, place, put in the oven. That's it. Enjoy your pizza. Come back next week. We're going to be doing, actually we're going to be kicking off our regional pizza tour. It's not actually a tour because I'm not leaving the house. I'm staying here, but we're going to be doing different pizza styles from around the country. And I'm going to begin with Detroit. Not a place anybody really thinks about or wants to go to, but they have awesome pizza. It is actually one of my favorites. And I'm going to be showing you how to make that next week. And then the week after, we're going to be doing what's called the Sicilian Party Pizza. So if you're students or you have a big family and you're cost conscious, for about $6, I'll show you how to make a pizza that's probably about as big as your children if you laid it down next to them. Not as thick, but it's a pretty big pizza. About the size of a 1980s laptop. So for about $6, you can't beat that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Keep checking back. We're going to have a bunch of shows on different types of pizza, how to make all kinds of pizza, different regional variations, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So check back with the Pizza Nerd. Nerd Life. Yes, I know. I got to do it. I'm embarrassed, but come check us out. Thank you.